Welcome back, my beautiful people, to Onslaught Gaming 40K. And today, we have another GT that's coming up this weekend. We have Major Warfare Road to Nova ticket, where I'll be giving away a ticket to Nova in the next coming GT. I believe the Nova GT is going to be in September. Check it out. Make sure to give them support and stay tuned and locked in as we introduce a special guest and talk about 11th edition as well. What's going on, my beautiful peoples?
What up?
I am so excited for this show today. I don't know why, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this.
I know why.
As well. Why is that, brother?
Because 11th is around the corner, and we got a whole bunch of fun stuff planned this weekend, and we got all the cool stuff coming tomorrow too. Woo! We got a lot of stuff to get into tonight, and I know you've been prepping like a madman for it, so I know you're eager to share.
I am. I have been preparing a lot, getting everything ready for all of the peoples. Don't fret. I will have things for you to be prepared, and we're going to go through some slides tonight as well to kind of break down the differences and what to kind of be aware of at the GT. So, shout out to all of you guys, man. How you guys been? How you been, Jake? I know you missed us last time where we're talking about you very kindly and nicely, right? Where we're just giving you your flowers. And message. We trolled you slightly. I think so.
Deserve.
I told you.
Yeah.
I think we told everyone to message him.
yeah. So how you been, brother? How's everything?
I've been great. I don't know if you've gotten the same storms that we've gotten here in Jax, but dude, it's been raining like thunderstorm, like real bad, dude. I'm sitting at my little vitamin shop, right? And we got a full little glass little corner window is facing the front, right? The restaurant across the street gets struck by lightning, and I'm like, whoa, like some crazy stuff, dude. I'm like, uh-oh. But I've been great.
That's Florida for you, dude. It's just wild out here. The weather is whatever it chooses to be.
Yeah. Class has been rolling. Stuff has been going. And praying that tomorrow brings some good stuff for Custodes, hopefully. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous with it. I'm a little nervous for my Golden Boys. I think that they really like how 11th is played, and if we kind of go in the right direction, I'm like, ooh, bring my boys back on the menu. But I'm scared. I'm very scared. Very, very scared.
Shout out to Jake and the Imperium, man, and all of you Imperium fans out there who's excited for tomorrow, right? Publicly, if you don't know already, Games Workshop and what Jake is talking about is they're dropping the MFM tomorrow, so they're dropping the points. On top of that, they also mentioned. Go ahead, brother.
No, I just noticed something. It's fine. It's I noticed the background is still elves.
We love elves.
Absolutely not as long as I'm in here. 100% no.
He's like off with the elves. Wallpaper, background change. So.
Yeah. All right. He's back. Well, fine. We'll do Custodes.
Yeah.
Hey.
But no, I've been great. I've been super hype. I actually played a game of 11th, pseudo 11th, as it was before the faction. Not the faction packs, but the terrain layouts. So we kind of had to do the Hammer and Anvil one that we knew from the live streams. But playing it, I am very excited. The game is almost 10.5, honestly. It doesn't quite feel like a whole new edition. It's kind of like if you went from 8th to 9th. It's similar to that rather than going from 9th to 10th, for those of you who have made those transitions. So it's
no idea what you're talking
not
about,
an entirely new edition. It is a kind of an extension of everything that 10th has brought before it.
Yep.
But
I think rules wise, yes, I agree. I think that the mechanics and how the game functions with the dispositions and everything is completely different.
Well, it's evolved, which is good. personally, and I have high hopes for GW, despite history, or maybe because of history, because they've grown from 8th to now. I started in 8th, so before 8th, I only heard the horror stories. What was it? Guard had the same codex from 3rd edition to 6th edition?
Listen, I'm not saying this for biased reasons or because I'm a part of one side or another, but listen, I'll be honest with you. I think it's about time that people kind of let GW continue to evolve, make it better. They even publicly stated that every month they're going to check out all the rules, do FAQs and things like that. I think it's about time. I think it's about time we start giving them their flowers, because we usually just bashing them all the time. Not saying that you're doing it, brother. I'm saying that generally in the community, right? Like, we love to bashing them throughout the years. And I think it's about time that we start giving them a little bit of love, because they're doing the right thing. I think the game is healthier, is going to be healthier. We'll see, right, in about 6 months. But great timing, Garrett.
Oh, yeah? Well, we're talking about Grey Knights?
That's a perfect way to introduce yourself. No, a special guest here, everyone, Garrett Befera. Everyone knows him. So big round of applause. Thank you very much, brother, for coming on today.
What's up? Do I sound good? I have like 3 lights that are turned on.
Yeah, you sound very clear.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what I'm talking to, but
listen, I'm gonna date myself here, but you sound like you could work on a 900 hotline.
1-800-40K.
At midnight.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome to 40K After Dark.
Oh God, no. You're
How can I help you?
it's the bad dice support hotline. Like, oh, you rolled double ones on your charge, CP rerolled and rolled double ones again. Man, that sucks.
It is what it is, dude. It is what it is.
Right. But no, we were actually just talking about the hype and our opinions and impressions of 11th edition. You know, as we've been kind of drip fed the information, and tomorrow is kind of the final piece, barring any last minute FAQs with the points coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for the points to go public. Finally, everyone can start building lists and officially, right, get some planning going. You know, I've been working with my lists like X amount of points down just in case. So, you know, if I end up with my list ends up getting cheaper, I can add stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. So, big morning tomorrow. Everyone, get your Discords ready, dude. They're gonna blow up.
Especially Grey Knights. Especially Grey Knights. Go check out Objective Secured. Make sure to support Garrett on his YouTube channel. He does wonderful content. He articulates it very well.
Thank you.
So you can kind of understand it, comprehend it very well. And listen, when I think of Grey Knights and people being specialists in that faction, it's such a challenge already to play that faction, but being at a high level, playing it and then performing well like you're doing, man, kudos to you.
Yes, me and David, baby. We got it. We'll save the Grey Knight community for you, David.
No. David's a good friend of mine, but he's getting shots right now because he's retired for like the last 3-4 months. I haven't seen that, man.
That's true.
So where's the David Ozawa, wanted sign?
David's that caliber of player where he's like, you don't see him often, but when you do, he's somehow like in the top 3 or top 5, and you're just like, who is this man? Where'd he come from?
I agree.
Just to piggyback off that though, I am a personal fan of your channel. Both, we've had you on and David talk about Grey Knights. People who haven't seen that video, check it out. Him and David go into some great detail and theory. But also, again, Garrett, you've been killing it on your channel. In the Onslaught Discord. I don't know if you have your own Discord, but you have your own YouTube channel, Objective Secured 40K. If you're a Grey Knight player, or you have a Grey Knight players in your kind of local community, and you want to know how they're going to play against them, I mean, this is your guy.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for. I'll never be too big for the boys, though. I'll never forget you guys. Don't worry.
We hold you to that. It's recorded, okay? This is.
Yeah, I'll never forget you guys when I'm eating my caviar with my Warhammer models.
The miniatures are made out of caviar. You just go on the table, just start eating a miniature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great life, man. Great life.
Yeah, someday, bro.
Hey, speaking of which, before we get into kind of what you want to talk about with 11th edition, before we get started, for those of you who are down south, we have a very special sponsor in Twin Dragons. And this gentleman, Garrett, and multiple other high-level competitive players from Warp Dust Crusaders and AOW will be there doing a Learn to Play Day for 11th edition. So go check that out. If you're all the way down south, go check that out. That's going to be a wonderful opportunity for people to go learn 11th edition from a high-level understanding champions and players of the game.
Very excited. We're gonna do me, Mike Buzani, Bryce Bennett. I think maybe Steve is going, so it'll be a lot of fun. We're gonna hang out there all day, answer questions, talk about Warhammer, teach these guys 11. So a ton of fun. Very excited.
Our buddy Clay asks when that is.
This Saturday, Naples, the Twin Dragons, baby, 11 a.m. Yep. So cool.
And I mean, all I heard is just going to be a bunch of Chaos players and Grey Knights kind of holding the line against them.
I mean, yeah, we're it'll be fun. I'll do my best out there, but you know.
We know you're going to bring your best, brother. But go ahead, Regal. Break it down to us, Regal. What should we know about 11th edition?
Well, first thing I want to say is do not let there's always, whether you're on Reddit or maybe in your own Discords or local store communities, don't let any negativity, get into your thoughts before you put plastic to table. That's always, we said it in the past edition transfers, we've said it, on codex releases, data slate drops. Do not let other people's opinions of the game, regardless of how informed, affect yours, because you play your way. You play again, if you go watch the Grey Knight video, David and Garrett play Grey Knights almost completely opposite each other. Same army, two holistically different play styles.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So,
same attachment too is opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So, just because someone says, "Oh, X attachment sucks," maybe they're, holding back when they need to push more or something. So, your own experience should be the measuring stick you use for, how much fun you're going to have. And on that, the other thing I'll say before I pass it off to someone else, this is a game. You should have fun with it. So, do that. It should always be fun first, and then, competitive or, narrative, escalation league, wherever that is. There is if you're into wargaming, which I assume you are watching this channel, you could find fun somewhere in the community. So that's just my thing, that before we get too into the nitty-gritty of the edition itself, keep your mindset open and, just be open to it's going to change. Like Lewis said, it is not 10th edition. A lot of things might feel familiar with it. A lot of secondaries might even look the exact same. Hell, one of the forced disposition just straight up just called Purge the Foe.
Purge the Foe, dude. Nemesis, the nemesis of 11th edition, dude.
I have my own hot takes about that. I was talking before we got on air, but yeah, that's my quick things just to kind of keep in mind is keep your mindset fresh and don't let the negativity ruin an experience you haven't had yet.
100%, brother.
But with that, you gentlemen, Jake over there sneaking in that Custodes background.
Hey, I saw Garrett do it, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, have I just not known I could do this the whole time?
I mean, I've been here every episode.
I thought you just had a green screen in the back, and that's why you were able to do it.
God, I wish I did.
Oh.
But no, that's what I have for it. So if anyone else wants to take us into kind of the rules or other advice while transitioning editions, maybe this is your first one, you haven't done it before. Sure, floor's open. I've said my piece.
Well, cool. Let's go ahead and start off with Garrett, if you don't mind, Garrett. Just tell the people kind of what you've seen that's already out publicly, right, with all the current 11th edition stuff. I know you've been playing some games and trying it out potentially. So let people know maybe what they need to look forward to. What are the disparities and the difference between the two systems? We're going to have a carousel slide come out later on anyways, detailing that. But tell us about your ideas and what you've seen in the game so far. So
there's been basically the pace of the game feels a lot different in 11th edition so far. I've been playing 11 since we've basically had the leaks, whether it was correct or not. I've been playing games since the second that we could, basically. I've probably played like 11 or so games or so of 11th at this point. And I'll tell you a couple really, really key things. Hidden is incredibly impactful, right? Yep. If you guys haven't played with it yet, being able to be in certain spots and then pre-measure, like, okay, your tank moves 12, so if I'm 27.1 away from you, I'm literally unable to be shot. Like, being able to plan that kind of stuff is outrageously valuable, especially if you play infantry. I know you play. We got 4 people in this who love hidden in this, right? So we got World Leaders, Tyranids, Custodes. You know what I mean? All hidden is great for all of them, right? Other one is the games are all, unless you're killing your opponent and tabling them, basically every game is very high scoring or relatively close on the score. Whether that's because we don't know the right way to go about winning yet, or because the missions are super balanced, who really knows? But all my games have been within 20 points, basically, since I've been playing the edition, except for one. I kind of raffle stomped Emperor's Children, but we won't talk about that. It was not Bryce, though. It was not Bryce. But it was also literally both of our first games, and we did like 50 rules wrong, I'm sure. So I wouldn't take that much stock into that one. And the third most important thing that I have, as I've played more games, is build your list for your disposition. Okay, do not pick your disposition based on your list. I guess is the best way I can phrase it. You take your disposition, find out what the hardest thing you can do on it is, and build your list backwards from that. If you take your if you're just trying to play the same stuff you were playing in 11th, the 10th edition, on disruption or on recon or whatever, and you don't plan for it, you are gonna be like, huh, that felt horrible. But then you take a deep breath, you go back, you change up your list. Okay, I have to do this after this. Next thing you know, you're scoring 100 points. And that's what I just recently did with my last couple iterations of my Grey Knight list, after being like, does disruption suck, or am I just approaching it wrong? And I switched my mentality completely, and now this is probably the most fun I've ever had playing 40K in my whole life, basically.
Wow.
So
congrats, man. We love to hear it. See, that makes it, enjoyable for people to hear, so they get ready and prepared for that. So that's awesome.
To piggyback off that real quick, I played a game myself against an orc player, Reconnaissance into Take and Hold, which is an insane matchup. I can't believe that primary exists on the recon side. But I tabled him by turn 3, and it was still only a 30-point difference. Like, even playing my last 2 turns to fully, and maxing my score, he still scored 65 points. So, like you were saying, Garrett, the pace is faster and scores go up much quicker on both sides.
Yep,
100%.
Have you tried out Fix yet, Garrett? What have you seen in the community? Maybe you can touch on a little bit about Fix.
I haven't. I still think Fix is mostly a trap.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
Just because it's honestly, Fix is probably even worse. Basically, because you can hold on to secondary cards now, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you draw area denial turn 1. I don't feel like it right now, and then you get a 15-point secondary turn, right? Like, I'm playing a Caluxus in my list, a Caluxus Assassin. I put her on my list to literally keep her in reserve as long as possible to bottle up secondary cards so she can drop in and score as many at once with her 6-inch deep strike, right? So but normally, like in 10th edition, you draw like a Savage Locust or whatever, right? And then it's like, oh, well, I either score nothing or I go drop my guy right now and then deployment zone for 4. So now it's like, cool, I drew Locust, and I don't need to score right now. I still have my deep strike on my Caluxus next turn. So then I draw my next 2 cards, and now all of a sudden I draw behind enemy lines and Locust, and now I drop my Caluxus in for 9 points back there, right? Or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's something that has really changed for me as well. And also pitching cards. Be very careful pitching cards, guys.
Yeah.
Very careful, because if your opponent is not pitching cards and you are pitching cards, that means you have less cards to score and you will lose on secondary. So basically, if they pitch a card, I'll pitch a card. But if they don't pitch a card, I won't pitch a card. If that, you know what I mean? Because you got to be careful. Got to be very careful.
That makes perfect sense. And for those of you understanding too, right? Like, understand that the mechanics of the game are completely different. Fix might not work for a lot of armies. It might work maybe going against knights or something like that. So try to figure it out on your own too, and see how that works out for you. But mostly Fix, I've seen, is probably not the way to go. I know, Reigel, you have your own opinion on this, don't you?
Yeah, so I actually did fix that game, and in hindsight, it was a mistake because again, I tabled on my turn 3, so I could have got so backtracking. Why fix is worse? Why Garrett mentioned that is your primary is now only 45 or 45 points, and your secondaries are 45 points, so they're now equal. And then the other 10 is your paint score, your battle ready. But if you take fixed, your secondaries are 40 like it was in 10th edition, meaning you cap out at 95 points.
Yep.
Which is, it's kind of in this weird spot. Because if you're playing an army who you can do fixed with, like Reconnaissance and the Take and Hold, my primary is literally just engage in all fronts. Instead of 3 and 5, it's 3 and 6. And it's all 5 turns. So I looked at that and I'm like, if I'm doing this and I have engage in all fronts is one of my fixed, I'm just getting 11 points a turn from turn 1.
Yep.
Pure profit. And I did that. It worked. Problem is I gave up 5 points before the game even started to, again, what Garrett just said. I basically threw out a card before the game even started. I just said, nope, I don't need those 5 points. And the weird double-edged sword is if I know I'm going to max my score anyway with that good of a game plan, I can probably just take tactical and just score the full 100 points.
Yep.
Now in a singles event, if you built kind of like Garrett, if you built for your disposition and you're going to be doing what you want anyway, which the only fixed cards are now engage in all fronts, assassination, which is kill characters for 3 or 5 points, because now it's if you were 3 wounds or less, you actually get less points for killing them. And so like things like guards and GSC characters and sisters, you don't have to kill more of to get those points. And then 4 wounds or more, you get the normal 5. And then it's Grievous Wound, which is essentially the new Call the Horde. Kill an enemy unit that's starting strength 13 or more, which I assume is to get around 10-man squad with a support character and a leader character. And then the other one, is Bring It Down. So you have one, which is be in 3 or 4 quarters, and the other 3 are all kill. Kill characters, kill big units, kill vehicles and monsters.
Yeah, I mean the best case for fix is against 5 big knights. That's basically the only time I would really consider it, unless I think the recon engage thing is pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah, if you're in teams and you tell your team captain, put me into take and hold every match and I'll get 95. I think that is like the one hyper specific curated place you can do it. Other than that, I agree. You're giving up 5 points, especially with how we talked about the score, and just can go from turn 1. And like some of them you can max out by turn 3. It is quite crazy on some of these primaries. Even turn 4, you can get tabled turn 4 and still have 100 points. It is a wild game, people. Which is good because you can also come back as you can hold the cards and turn 3, 4, and 5 get your 15, 15, 15 if you tabled them. Like if you're Montclair Tau and now you have the run of the table, you just run up that score. So I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought completely. Oh, fix, right. So it's this weird thing where you're giving up those 5 points, and again, that might be a team strategy. We don't know what the team. And teams is a whole nother can of words. I promise you guys are not ready for the teams conversation. I'm not ready for the teams conversation.
That's next week, by the way. Shout out to JD from ATC. He's got ATC going on next week, so that's going to be the first team event in 11th edition. So that's going to be nice.
I have 6 days to get ready for teams, get ready for a GT, and learn the points from my army. Thank you, General Slaughter.
That's what makes this fun. That's what's fun about it.
I love teams. I'm deeply grieved. I'm going to miss my first chance at a teams event for 11th, but
I'll be at ATC.
Teams are going to be awesome.
I'll be at ATC in 2 weeks. I'm playing Disruption Grey Knights.
I talked on my buddy Anime Squirrel. I don't know if he's in here. I talked him into potentially doing Disruption Chaos Knights because on the way the layouts, it's BCACB. Chaos Knights can get tabled by turn 3 and still max out 45 primary. It is insane with them on Disruption.
You saw that they clarified that, right? I love how they're clarifying everything. If they say 1, they underline it. We're going to show you that too in the carousel slide later on. But a lot of clarifications. Now I'm going to talk about my kind of my role and what I do in 40K, right, for the tournament organizer side, and how clear the wording is now in the rules. They have little fluff tabs that show you explicitly, hey, like in the fight section, it tells you Do I need to fight? Yes, you have to fight, but you don't have to pile in and consolidate, right? So now it's explicit in what you can do and what you have to do and what you can't do. So I love how they tighten it up. For those of you who like to use applications, I'm getting an application ready for you. Surprise, surprise, they should be ready for Saturday. On this application, you'll be able to call me over to your table. You'll put in your table number, and you can message me, and I'll come over to your table and things like that and help you out with the rules. So I'm going to try to give you all the tools you need, but going back to 11th edition and what the rules are all about and how they're broken down as a tournament organizer, I really love it. I really love the changes. I think the clarifications are a lot better in how it's organized and referenced. Finally, it has a reference for things, right? And a keyword section on page 99, I think it is, or 98.
Those side little tabs that have like, see this 17.02.
Yeah.
Now if they could just consistently put the new changes in the FAQs in red, we'd be there, GW.
Something cool is I don't know if I'm wrong, but GW officially has referred to teams as an official format.
Yep,
it is.
There's a pack.
Are we gonna maybe have
doubles, doubles, bro? Doubles?
I mean, dude, what if, they announce 2027, the GW 8-man Dallas Open, dude? Oh my god, that's not real, by the way, guys. If that comes out on accident, I promise you, I did not know that. But just the fact that they have acknowledged it publicly, that hey, look, teams are real. Here's how teams work. That leads me to believe that they are going to hopefully do a 5 or an 8-man team event, an official GW 5 or 8-man team event, which would be awesome. Very awesome.
I'm not going to say anything. If I speculate, it's bad for me.
Yeah. I got lucky.
I'll speculate. I'm just a dude. 2027 LVO Warhammer Week. 3-man, 3-day team event, 3-day GT. Let's do it.
I would do it. All day. Bring
I,
the whole collection.
I probably couldn't do it in 2027. The fiance, hopefully wife by then, wouldn't let me. But 2028, I'll be there.
I'm just saying, what happens if WCW, where they do the narrative still in Atlanta this year, they had a team event too?
I mean, look, I'll be the Warp Dust Crusaders will be there, baby.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the future of competitive events, and like you said, Louis, doubles was insane. Like seeing teams wasn't too surprising because I think toward the end of 10th, I heard somewhere that teams was the kind of fastest growing like market for competitive events for GW and for just Warhammer in general. Doubles is insane though, and I've never been, but I've always wanted to. They sound super fun, so that's cool that there's now specific tournament packs, both as a player and I'm sure as a TO, to set up those events.
I hate doubles, dude. Holy shit. Dude, don't even get me started. I hate doubles, dude.
Wait. Doubles where you get to walk in with your buddy, or doubles where you're random paired, or both?
Doesn't matter. You don't have it. Let me tell you what happens every time we do doubles tournament. Shout out all my friends. You guys know who you are. We go prior to the doubles event. Like 10 of us sign up. So that's 5 teams. It's like, hey guys, let's all bring fun lists. Yeah, we're playing a funny doubles tournament, and it turns out that people's definition of fun and power is very different, right?
It's true.
So one person will be like, "This is my fun list," and it's 10 big nights, right? Because it's both people combine their big nights as 10 of, or however many big nights, and it's like, oh, that's rough. And then the next person's playing like 10,000 Poxwalkers, and 10,000 Gretchen, right? and it's like, oh, I see. Fun meant, so I like to watch team events. I don't like to play them anymore.
Look, next one, pair with me. I'll bring like 9 Carnifexes, Screamer Killers, Old One Eye, and then it'll be great. It'll be terrible. It'll be great.
I mean, like I said, it's the coordination before the event that bothers me, because it's like, hey, this is not gonna be a sweaty event, blah blah blah, and then it's like the most broken combination of 2 things possible. It's like, okay,
just like the most hyper skews like you can get.
Really off topic, and I hate to steer it off, but real quick, do you guys know the exact time that the Field Mini Tour is supposed to be released tomorrow?
11 probably.
11 a.m.
Between 10 and 12. Yeah, 10 and 12 a.m. I would assume. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm excited. 11th edition is in about 3 months or 4 months, probably be the best edition in a long time. Would be my
Do
guess.
you guys also want to know what is going to happen in about 3 months? I've done the math, and I'm excited. Crucible
Codex?
GT in Orlando.
Oh, I'm there. You know, Lewis. You know, you should feel happy. We picked you over Challenger Cup. Hope you know that. We got we got the email to go to Challenger Cup, and we were like, let's go. And then they're like, guys, the same day as Crucible, and then we were like, oh well, then he wasn't even a discussion. We were like, okay, we're not going.
Yeah.
We're going to Crucible. So just know that. Dude, know that.
I already know. Steve reminds me all the time. I love you guys for that. I do. I love you guys for that. I've been watching the hotel room or the castle you guys got. You guys got a freaking castle, I think.
That's what I hear.
You got Disney World castle itself.
You're staying in the Cinderella suite. Just in the middle of Magic Kingdom.
I'm gonna win Crucible this year, bro. I'm gonna win Crucible this year. I got
Love it. Oh, he's saying it right here. You hear that?
Look,
You heard it here first.
I'm also going after that title with way less prospects than you. So be afraid.
I'm just looking to round one call out Reigel again.
There you go, dude. Nothing like knocking your friends out round one, dude. Huh?
That's actually how me and Reigel met. Was round one pairing Crucible last year.
Hey, John Lennon 2 years ago knocked out every single person he played against. Was literally Art of War. He knocked out all of his friends literally to the end. All of them. It was hilarious.
Stepping stone style.
Speaking of saying things, that's on record. Lewis did put a bounty. He said he would pay someone to beat John Lennon. So Garrett, you can make a payday. You can hold him to it. It's binding. He said it in front of like 300 people.
I did.
Listen, y'all lucky I won't have the Grey Knight Codex by then. I don't think. I mean, if I have it by then it's great. I don't know. We'll see, dude.
I wish you nothing but luck, brother. Hopefully you kill it. So what have you seen, Garrett? What have you seen change in 11th edition? How's your fight? How's the fight change for you? I as a World Leaders player, with Angron going 44 inches, I'm loving it.
Potentially. Potentially.
Okay, potentially.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
World Leaders jumping up and down in his chair. He's so excited.
Yeah, anyone that has Pile Consolidate 6 is definitely very excited about the fight phase, right? World Leaders has the freest access to it in the game, if I recall.
Yep.
They're the only one who just passively get it, right?
It depends, because they got to roll the dice, but I don't know what the dice combination to get it is.
And it's literally the second easiest to get. It's
it's a pretty easy one.
It's like
Tyranids have a stratagem, which is consolidate 6 or make a normal move if they're not in combat. So
so that's a good one as well. Yeah, I mean, the fight phase is really cool. The little mini game of piling in and when to tag something, when to actually base somebody and when to not base somebody. Yeah, I think is a very interesting little mini game that is going on in the fight phase. Overrun moves are awesome.
Listen to this, people. This is very, very important. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Go ahead.
Overrun moves are probably one of the coolest mechanics I've ever seen in the game. Essentially, if you guys don't know, basically how it works is you charge your enemy with 2 units, right? And then you activate your pile-in. So in World Eaters, for example, you go 6-inch pile-in, right? So you 6-inch pile-in with both your guys, and then your one unit kind of wraps around the back, and your other unit comes into the front, right? Then your first unit full kills the guy that you charged. Then, because at the start of the fight phase, your unit was engaged, and they are no longer engaged, they are now eligible to pile in again.
Yes.
So they can now move an additional 6 toward something as long as they can get into combat with it and then fight that thing. And you can actually ladder this all the way up the table if you wanted. So you can go like fight, overrun move, pile in, kill, and then if you had another thing in combat with that thing can also then overrun move. So you can theoretically, if your opponent has enough units and you hit enough charges, you can theoretically move the entire table. Yeah.
Or you could have the 6-inch pile and consolidate on a unit that just fights automatically when it gets hit. And like Lewis said, you have to fight if you're tagged.
Hell brutes.
I think
that's why they nerfed them. They nerfed them, but they said you could do it once per game. So it's good enough for that little once per game.
Oh, I mean, that's all you. That's
Yeah.
oh, so once per game, I can kill my opponent's army. Sick.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a nerf.
Like not even that. It's like, oh no, my 140 something point unit killed 700 points of yours.
Yeah, I
Can't do that again. Dang.
Dude, let me tell you something about. I'll go back to 11 in a second. But watching that Hellbrute and like people who maybe don't understand what that thing is about to do is the saddest thing. I'm like watching in front of the table like this because I watched that Hellbrute go through my buddy's entire Tau army. Like literally like everything.
Pinball?
Yes,
pinball?
it probably killed 6 units. I was like, bro,
Holy.
no, and shout out Charlie. It was against Charlie Blowers. I watched Morgan do it to Charlie.
Shout out Charlie and Morgan.
No, opposite. I watched Charlie do it to Morgan. Actually, yeah, that's what it was. So funny.
our Tau player here at Onslaught. That is his live reaction.
Yeah.
Shout out to JP. We love you, baby. He
is
the Tau specialist for Onslaught. He's absolutely amazing.
No, JP's great.
He killed me in one round, in just my turn. Or his turn, rather. Sorry, he killed me just in his turn at a GT.
Well, you made the mistake of bringing chain axes to a gunfight, and that honestly, that's on you.
Listen, that was like 2 days right after the twin lances dropped, so it wasn't pre-nerfed. It was just what it is. I was like, yay! It was a roller coaster of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's still gonna be crazy. So what else have you seen, Garrett? Anything else? Anything kind of stand out with 11th edition? Anything kind of you want to let people know? Hey, don't make this kind of mistake. Like,
I mean, so the number. I already referenced the cards. I referenced the list building, right? TTS has all the layouts on it now. By the way, if anybody didn't know, it's fully updated now.
Nice.
So if you ever want to get in there, I don't actually play that much on TTS anymore, but I do use it as like a whiteboard to kind of draw up plans and deployments and stuff like that. So it's really good. Yeah, super valuable for that.
Yep.
Especially if you're going to be doing an action-centric disposition. Mapping out your turn 1 actions is like outrageously valuable to do. Even if you do it on like your phone or something, like super important if you want to do well. I mean, obviously if you're playing for fun, don't like stress about it. But if you're like trying to go to these events and like do well, definitely map out your actions on turn 1. Disruption specifically is really good for that. Cover, really interesting. So if you guys know, you don't have to be wholly within cover to have cover. You just touch it, right? So that allows you to deploy really in weird spots that you couldn't deploy before because you had hidden. Hidden is like the most impactful thing ever. Vehicles going. If
you don't mind, I'm going to add something to that as a tournament organizer for being obscured, right, or receiving cover. It's going to be very important for tournament organizers to put those little V's or L's right there on the footprints themselves. That gives the opportunity for a vehicle that's putting on footprint on there or a unit. It will obscure them, give them cover. Also, don't forget, cover and stealth do not stack. So
yes, stealth is the benefit of cover. Yes,
I have two things myself. One is a kind of a general thing that I think a lot of people aren't going to be used to because it was almost a non-factor for like 60% of 10th edition, like after the first mission pack. Yeah. And that is the Dawn of War deployments are back.
Yes.
So that for those of you who don't know, you have the Mission A layout 1 where you were like long range with a step. That's called kind of the hammer and anvil where you're far apart. Imagine the opposite way where you're only 44 inches and then your deployment zone goes up like 10 or 14. Like here at the GT, depending on your disposition, you're going to be playing on that 2 to 3 times over the course of the GT. So instead of being anywhere from like 16 to 22 inches away, you're going to be 20 at the most, and like sometimes 18 or 16. Hot dog versus hamburger, exactly. We've been playing a lot of hot dog. Hamburger's back on the menu now.
Yes.
And that is a whole new consideration for deploying sight lines and just playing a 5-turn game, being so close to each other.
How are you planning on doing events, Lewis, for for the 3 layouts? Are you going to be like, hey, everyone's playing layout 1 all like the first layout all weekend, or what's the? Can you share that or no?
Or just the RTTs or what?
Yeah. So like, if I go to an RTT, right? How are you determining which one of the 3 maps that we play?
Usually my determination, like on the GT, I like, just like I've done before throughout the 7 years, is progressively getting more competitive and more challenging, right? The whole goal is for it's like a sport, right? You watch basketball. I feel like it should be the same way. You go through your regular season, right? You go through your first round, then you go through your playoffs in the second round, and then third round is basically your finals. So you got to go in there with the best mission. So I usually progressively make it more challenging.
Well, so like what I mean is like, so round 1, right? I'm disposition against take and hold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the 3 maps that I can play on against take and hold, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are we determining that map? Are you going to be at the beginning of the event, be like, hey,
yes,
everyone's playing 1 or everyone's playing 2 or what?
Yes. Those are all be dictated either on the player packet.
Okay, got it.
It won't happen the day of. I'll give you guys information before all of those events.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's something I was curious about. The team event.
Yeah.
Team events are pretty interesting. Like the defender gets to pick the layout, which essentially also picks the mission.
Yes.
Which is really crazy because you pick the disposition you're going against and the map.
Yep.
Pretty good. Lot of advantage now for the defender.
That is real big for team events. For people who haven't seen that packet, there's a team events packet on Warcom that talks about that explicitly about defenders. But we're going to go ahead and pay the bills real quick, everyone. Give us 1 minute. We'll be right back. Please make sure to support the sponsor. And yeah, give us a
Stick around. Don't leave. There's more to be said.
Don't leave. Yeah. Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show. Always shout out to Baron of Dice. They have wonderful, wonderful product, wonderful equipment, wonderful dice. If you ever want to buy a tape measure. Oh my gosh, I lost my tape measure, but I have a World Leaders one that has like a dial on it, a coin rather, with a World Leader symbol. Tons of product. Go check them out. Website is included down in the description section. So, all right, everybody, we are back at it. So, 11th edition, right? Let's go ahead and show a little bit of 11th edition. Garrett, you're more than welcome to hang out if you'd like to, brother. Give your feedback, whatever you like, brother. Or you could leave. Doesn't matter. We love you. Thank you very much.
While you bring that up, Jake, you've had a lot of quiet time. No more.
Yeah, brother, go ahead.
Share some of your opinions and insights, as a Custodians and Ultramarines player, some of those more
yes,
kind of similar to Grey Knights without the ability to teleport and jump around. You kind of got a foot slog at the long way. What are some of your kind of insights and kind of things you're prepping for to play this new whole world?
So a lot. I mean, I know we've said it like time and time again, but a lot has changed with 11th edition, and there's been a lot of interactions in different units that I feel like get a lot more value in 11th edition than you might have seen before, and or feel like they play a little bit differently. Like for example, like Vindicators, which I don't believe that we're losing at 11th from what I've seen, but TBD, I guess, for tomorrow. But like that 24-inch range on the Vindicators, right, sees everything that it needs to see constantly, pretty much across the board. Because the maps you're so tight, right? So as soon as you go and you tag into these footprints, right, which also keep in mind is like movement with vehicles, not having to pay to pivot gains you so much additional movement and so much more versatility with those vehicles that I think is really awesome. But like I found a lot of the times with like Ultramarines that the Vindicators, that 24-inch range really limited them, right? And it's like, you got to make sure that you play that advance and shoot right if you've got it, you know, stuff like that. But like, I found that 24-inch range is more than enough for whatever, right? I've also found that like the different sight lines you can get from towing a vehicle into something, right? It's kind of crazy. I'm not used to it myself. I've been trying to get into like thinking about that a little bit more, and it's a little wacky, right? But it's definitely a cool mechanic, and I think infantry got infinitely better with the hidden mechanic, especially the fact that to like being counted as in the terrain template is just towing onto it. You know what I mean? Now cover is cool because it's not a model by model basis, it's a unit basis, so your entire unit has to receive the benefit of cover for you to get the benefit of cover, which I think is a nice change. It definitely changes how you go and you would play your units. And dispositions and layouts and stuff, that's like everything in the secondary game. Pretty much the same thing that Garrett was talking about. Like, discarding cards is no longer like oh well, you know, I can't score this, but hey, it's a free CP, right? There's not that anymore, right? If you want that free CP, right, it's not free anymore. It's not a oh oops, I can't score this, right? It's a, you know, I need this CP right now, because if I don't have this CP going into my next turn, my opponent's going to be able to do what they want, and I need to be able to have options to deal with it. But terrain being the objectives, I feel like forces a lot more like direct engagement in a way, which is really fun. I like it a lot. And charges and fight phase have just felt smoother. The 2-inch engagement range is really nice. I like it a lot. Being -1 to charges is definitely, you know, something you got to get used to, but I think that, I mean, I'm liking it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm really excited for it, and I'm excited to get all the information that I need tomorrow so I can actually start working with stuff, because I mean, until I get those points, it's a little something. But kind of going off what Garrett was saying earlier, right, about building your lists around your disposition, right? That is tremendously huge, right? Because otherwise you're like putting the square block in the circle hole, you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to make a list work for something that it's not built to do, right? Which is why you got to build your list around your disposition, right? And I honestly, like, it's going to be a fun little trial by fire period for everybody of, you know, figuring out what's going to work for them, right? How you're going to make your list fit your disposition and fit your play style.
Yep.
I know that for me, as far as like custodies go, because I'm really trying to make custodies work if I can and mess around with them for a good bit. Like, I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, well, you know, I could go and I could almost keep my same list right now in Lions, and I could just, you know, take the Dreadnought detachment, make it purge, and then now, you know, I just run a 3DP Lions effectively, you know. Or I could go drop one of my Grav tanks maybe and throw in a Telemon because they're cool. But I mean, it's a whole bunch of, you know, messing around with that I'm excited for. So
real quick, something that you touched on, I meant to talk about before and I completely forgot, because there's so much information, guys. Like, there is, like, again, check out Garrett's channel, check out, you know, Recon by Fire has some great content. Lewis, translate. Hello? I can't. I'm so sorry.
Game on High City. That's a good dude right there. He's basically saying hello. Hello in Cuban.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Look, I assumed it was a greeting, but I didn't want to be offensive, so I wanted to make sure.
It was. It's definitely a greeting. Love that guy, man. Shout out. Yes,
and before I get into it, I know you've been answering it, but just for the people, Darth Charles, great name, wants to know how impactful CP generation is, and that they are worried about it moving to Grey Knights.
Oh, good question.
And I assume they mean things like characters who either give you a CP or ways to generate CP naturally through your army, like with Gretchen.
Yeah, I mean, it's at a premium as it was. However, it's not good enough to like go out of your way. So, for example, in Grey Knights, the only way I can feasibly generate CP is with Cortez, the Inquisitor guy, and he's 95 points, and he doesn't do enough for what I'm trying to do to be worth like throwing it in. So, like, if CP generation was impactful enough, I would be considering like throwing him in the list. However, it's the same. If you're not Eldar and you're not Ultramarines, you know, you don't get as much CP as everybody else, basically.
This guy down here. Speaking of Jake, hey Jake, so what are you thinking about running, brother?
I don't know because I've been
so you
trying.
Gotta see the point. You gotta see the points.
I gotta see the points, right? But the biggest thing is those dispositions and those missions, right? Now something that I think is really funny, right, is so my blueberries list, right? Because I feel like kind of like the talk amongst the town is that Purge the Foe is gonna be kind of like the big. Everybody's gonna be running those big Death Star units, you know, like very few units on the board, right? But like crazy outputs and stuff like that. I think it's kind of funny because my blueberry list kind of plays pretty well into that, especially with Vital Link, which I think is kind of cool. You know, I kind of just run right at you like I would normally, right? But here are my 9 units in a dream, you know. I think that might have some play. But the thing is, then I'm looking at all the other missions that I've got for my list, and I'm like, yeah, I get any other pairing but Purge the Foe, and it's like dicey if I score. So,
yep.
I don't know. But maybe I'm not looking into it right. I've just yet to, you know, play that into it because I've played one game of 11th, and then the rest of them have been like little like practice games of me playing against myself with my Custodies versus my Blueberries, right? And of course, like I'm playing priority assets into Purge, so I don't really have too much of a like an option there. But I want to play Custodies really bad. I want to make them work if I can, and if I can't, then I'm gonna see what I can do with Blueberries. But yeah, I think I'm going to try out all my stops with Custodies and then see what can do. Might take a couple of losses here and there, a lot of them back to back, but it'll be okay.
The way I like to play Grey Knights, I'm kind of stuck between Disruption and Purge.
Yep.
And the Purge list.
Oh, you could do Purge really well.
No, so basically I like Banishers and I like Warpbane. And my 1 DP, the only 1 DP that I think they're all good for what's worth, but the only one I like to play is the Paladin one. Because the Paladins +1 to wound. Shout out Paladins, dude. They 1-tap Defilers like every time now. Every time they do. 5 Paladin, dude. 5 naked. 5 naked Paladins kill a Defiler every time.
Quick question on that. Do the Interceptors with their detachment kill Defiler as well with their lance?
It's like 50-50. Yeah.
Nice.
Do they have grenades?
Which is really cool. They do, but you
can advance.
So if you can get close enough prior to their little ability thing, you can grenade them. But essentially, what they do is they go out of a transport. They go 15, right? Because they go 12 base plus 3 disembark, and then they shoot. And when they shoot, they do a surge move of D6 +1, and then they can declare a charge after it.
And so surge moves, correct me if I'm wrong, they are up to, not the maximum. So you could choose to stay out of engagement range and just have a 3-inch charge. Oh, so you have to go the full distance?
Yeah. So if you can reach engagement range, you have to.
Oh, okay. I thought a surge allowed you to. I didn't know it mandated.
I'll double check now that I'll double check, but I'm like fairly confident I read it, and I was like, oh, so if I just roll a 6 on accident here, I just like get cooked. So I have to like look into that.
My only surge is Carnifexes, and they have not been used since like the data pack.
But my Purge list that I have on my phone for Grey Knights it's 30 Paladins, 10 Terminators, Crow, and 10 Purifiers.
Wow.
That's the Purge list that I have.
I'm having Nom flashbacks. I feel like I've played that list, Garrett.
Wait, what was the list again?
It's 30 Paladins, 10 Terminators, and Crow.
That's wild.
So funny enough, right? I had to play Grey Knights for a TTS little thing that the Custodies Discord did, and I ran the exact same list minus the Terminators.
Yeah, so it's 40 Terminator bodies and Crow. It's absolutely hilarious.
Minus the Terminators, I ran that same list. That's crazy. And I ran that in Banishers.
Real quick, touching on something that it's come up a couple times. Secondaries. The secondary deck has also become a lot more fluid to draw and score. Cleanse and Plunder, the 2 of the action ones, are now just they have a built-in. If you already have one active, you can redraw the other one, so you're not stuck doing 3 actions. So that's really nice. And that with the whole hand mechanic where you can hold them, as Recon by Fire mentioned a little further back, it is not going to be too uncommon to score 15 points. And in fact, that might actually be some army's game plan. Like, again, Mont Tau is a very aggressive turns 1, 2, and 3 army. and maybe they, they start depending on, like, especially in teams, like, all right, turns 1 and 2, we're just throwing down. Turns 3, 4, and 5, we're scoring these cards and getting our points out because you're dead. And the other thing about CP is Vect has changed, or Lords of Deceit as it's called. The aura of stratagems cost 1 more CP. Now it is once per turn you can make 1 CP cost 1 more, or 1 stratagem cost 1 more, which usually is all you need, but it is no longer ubiquitous. Just that reroll charge is +1, and that land strat is +1, and that armor of contempt is +1.
Is that turn or round?
I believe it is once per player turn.
Mm-hmm.
I will go
maybe
I'm
probably gonna cut my Calidus then.
Yeah, it's once per player turn. Yeah, when you said it, I was like, that's a great idea, but it's once per turn now. Also, going to your point, you're correct. For surge moves, under surge move 21.02, while moving, each model must end its move engaged with the surge move target if possible.
Yeah. Lewis, did you use your tool? Yeah.
Shout out the tool,
you're looking
man.
at your phone, and I was like,
Sneak peek to my app coming up very soon. It's gonna look like a command center. It's gonna look like, if you ever looked at a movie in a command center, it has GPS satellites for everything going on. It's gonna zoom in. You're gonna be able to go to like the command center or whatever. Anyways, yes, thank you. A shameless plug to my own app.
It's cool. I definitely want to get it. I'll get it when it's out, bro. I'll get it when it's out.
100%. I got you guys, man. I got you guys, all of it. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna have everything in it, every single document you can think of.
So the Lord of Deceit is once per turn. When your opponent targets a unit from their army within 12 inches of this model with a stratagem, you can use this ability. If you do increase CP of that stratagem by 1. Now, if you do increase CP cost use of that stratagem by 1, doesn't say this phase. So, like, for example, if someone wanted to Armor of Contempt in the shooting phase, would it still cost 2 in their next fight phase?
So that's how Vect actually is still worded, I think, in the app from the start of the edition. That's how it used to be worded. I wouldn't, because what Vect used to be is somebody would use a strat, and then you would say, hey, that strat for the rest of the game is 2 CP. Yep. And that they got rid of that very swiftly, and that's how it actually turned into the aura, which it is now. I would not imagine that it goes back to that.
No, that I wouldn't either. So it is once per turn now, not every single one. Which again, with like heroic intervention, if you have not gone and read the heroic intervention stratagem, you need to. Even if you're playing a shooting army, I promise you need to. It is so
annoying.
I called it when I got previewed. Well, me and Lewis on the phone. I'll say it now publicly. I'm not scared. That is going to be probably, in my opinion, the biggest skill display of 11th edition is those who know how and when to utilize heroic intervention, and those who just like big red button press it.
You know what's going to really happen with heroic, which is the more real scenario, is I'm about to win a game and I have to make a charge, and I make that charge and something is 11 inches away on turn 5, and they have to go, well, I lose the game if you do this, so I'm going to 1 CP heroic for an 11, and they're going to roll 11, and Lewis, my first red card will be when that happens. Just know that.
Technically, if they didn't charge, you could only do it within 6.
No, so I have to charge. So I charge in the thing, and then you just get to do it. It's just do it.
Yes,
and I'll tell you what, that happens to me, and I lose. Someone will have to restrain me.
Parking lot.
Garrett. So one of the little practice games on TTS I did with myself with my Custodians versus Blueberries, right? Kato Sicarius, his whole unit died but him, right? And basically he went and got to heroic Draxus's unit that was doing fuck all, like in the one of the center objectives, right? Which we're playing Vital Link, right? And he nails box carts on the charge, right? Flies out there, right? And because I don't want to start over there, right? And he's a fight first unit, I have to start with I believe it was my Trajan unit that was engaged with Calgar and G-Man, right? I was just putting the unit into Calgar's unit, and then whatchamacallit, Trajan into G-Man or something like that, right? But Kato then lifted the whole Draxus unit, and because he's in the middle objective, just scored all the primary because that's all you need for Vital Link.
Dude, it is what it is, bro. And tell you, I can't wait for someone to need a 3-inch charge and they roll a 12, and then all of a sudden they just shoot another direction. The charge. Let me tell you something. The charge changes and the heroic changes is going to send me to prison, bro. That's going to send me to prison.
I just want to remind everyone, because this attachment got nerfed and kind of forgot about. Khorne Demonkin can just spawn in a Bloodletter unit wherever you kill it. And like Khorne Defilers and Forge Fiends exist for the shooting phase. And now you're going to see Khorne Terminators. I promise. I've talked to both Lewis and Steve Trimble. Shout out to him. He's amazing. Deploy on the line. Go check him out as well. But they kill you in the shooting phase. They pop down and they have the banner for +1 to charge. They'll hit you 13 inches away. They don't care. Yep. Suddenly there's Bloodletters on your home because they killed an idiot squad on the center objective. Yep. Yeah, you want to talk about rage inducing?
I love that. I love that. But I do got to bounce out, gentlemen.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Having me on. Lewis is great. If you guys don't know Lewis, he hosts the best events down here in the South, baby. If you're ever around, come to Crucible, all that fun stuff. So thank you guys for inviting me. Sorry I can't stay a little longer, but I've been on the computer for like 5 hours.
Go check him out, especially if you're Grey Knights. And like I said, if you play him, just check out his channel. He does great work.
Jake, nice to see you, brother. We'll keep talking. Shoot me those messages if you have any questions. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you a lot. See you
soon. Have a good one, sir.
Round of applause. That was amazing. He brought a lot to the show. Just a lot of quality, right? Talk.
He is awesome.
Down. He is awesome. Just talking about 11 and Grey Knights as well. So for those of you who are faction specialists, like Reigel was saying, shout out for the 5th time because we love to throw flowers at our people. Go check them out. Objective Secured 40K. Absolutely amazing content. So, and you can see them in person at Onslaught events too. So, and at Layton, Orlando, very soon as well. So,
this Saturday. Also, or not this Saturday. That's not Naples. This Saturday.
Yeah.
Again, these faction specialists. You know, we have a series on this channel, and on his channel, he's Grey Knights. Other channels do it as well. Even if you don't play those armies, they're always good to get insight because you never know when you're going to run into them at an event, or even at just a local OGS. So it's still good to know at least what they do. But moving on, I've distracted us for like 15 minutes from your wonderful next segment you wanted to start. My bad.
No, you're good, brother. No, wonderful content. I hope everyone's enjoying everything that we're talking about right now. We're going to give you a little bit more information. That way it's solidified when you come to the GT. Also for the GT is going to be BCACB. If I said that right correctly, BCA.
Yeah, BCACB. Yep.
All right. That means you're going to go to the table, look at the options that you have for those layouts, and that's the layout that you're going to be playing for that particular round. All right. Anyone has any questions about the GT, feel free to ask me. I'll interject after we finish reading. But there's going to be information is going to come out tomorrow as well. An opportunity for people to use the app, hopefully over the weekend with a beta version of it. So please bear with me. This is something that it's a long process. Trying to teach something how humans speak it's a challenge within itself. So bear with me. It's going to be a great product, and hopefully you can use it on Saturday. But to get you prepared, there's a little bit more here on the 11th edition Event Companion. So I'll start it off, and then we can kind of just run around the clockwise circle, I guess.
Hey, Lewis, real quick,
Talk to me,
I want
baby.
to make a note on you and your app and your tools that you're making for people. Guys, huge shout out for Lewis for taking his time to make these things. I don't think you know how much this man loves y'all and how much care and energy and effort he puts into all of these events, all of these tools he has laid out, right? Like, he's been talking about his tool that he's been trying to put together, right? For as long as I can remember, right? He's over there, he's working hard, he's getting it, right? I call him out the blue, I'll be like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, no, dude, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting my stuff, I'm putting this together. And he showed me his phone, right? Looking all through and stuff, right? And there was one day, right, when I took the whole day to read out all the 11th core rules, right, and just hand read all of it, right? And then when I went to go talk to him about it, cause I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Oh my god, I'm like geeking out. He's like, brother, I know. And he's over there. I'm trying to make sense of it myself, right? He's trying to make it make sense to a program that will then go and make it make sense to you guys in a whole other format that's easy to read and understand and all like picture perfect. It's insane to me how he even remotely gets that stuff to work, and it is just so incredible and such an awesome thing. So just wanted to throw you some little kudos for that.
You melted my heart, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is all my passion, right? And I just always want to give to the community whatever I can. I give it out for free. I just want you to have everything you need always so you're successful, right? I'm your coach. I want the players to be the best that they can be, right? No biases. Whoever wins, wins. But try to help everybody out. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. So going back to the carousel, the muster and disposition, like Garrett and Jake and everyone had been talking about earlier, right? Even Reigel mentioned about this on a high level, that disposition is going to be one of the things you start off with. You're going to have that on your army list selected as well before you go to an event. So make sure to remember that. We already kind of talked about fixed missions and how fixed missions, you'll end up losing out on 5 points. So with those 5 points, that can seriously hurt you in the long run. But it can help you as well. Like they mentioned, where playing into knights, chaos knights, things like that, that might be a benefit to you. Even so, like Reigel mentioned, where if you're going into horde armies, right? Like you might want to play Call the Horde, and that can do well against called horde armies.
Grievous Blow.
Or Grievous Blow now. Sorry. Yes, they did change it now.
Yep. Or if you're playing like a lot of reanimation, either Hallowed Martyr Sisters, where you can revive characters, or the Necron Awakened Dynasty.
Yep.
Assassination. Like, but again, that is a very specific game plan, and you either have to really know that matchup in a singles event, or plan for it and say, okay, I'm going character hunting, big thing hunting, horde hunting, in a teams event. Like that is like you said, is a plan you've made, not on a whim decision at a table, because you will not be very happy and think we're crazy for telling you to do it. So the caveat: plan ahead. Don't decide at the table and come yell at me because you lost. Look, someone was going to do it if I didn't say it.
Jake, did you have something to mention, brother?
Yeah, all right, guys. Look, as much as I love hanging out with y'all and getting to yap for a little bit, I do got to dip because I got to be up early in the morning. I got a lot of stuff planned for tomorrow and a lot of stuff I'm trying to get done and out the way. That way I can be prepped and ready for that 11 a.m. I've got it all mapped out. Listen, I got my caffeine laid out, right? I got some nootropics on the side, and then I'm gonna fire up the hot sub, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna just read like a madman and just start.
This man is flexing on all of us. I gotta get up early, so I'm ready for points and hot tub time. What a madman! Thank you very much for coming on, Jake. I'll tell you, Jake is very busy. He is a college student, a dedicated partner, a full-time employee, and an absolute madman at the hobby. So it's only Lewis putting in the work.
So stay tuned and locked in. So when Jake comes on, this man is bringing some incredible Imperium information. So stay tuned and locked in when he comes on.
Everyone interested in custodies, right? That is going to be my first priority, hands down across the board, right? I can promise you, I'll be coming with all the fun little brainstorm ideas. I'll tell you, there's one, look, a little hint, right? Throwing out at y'all, right? And I actually don't know if me and this said person are on the same page, right? And basically we were talking and we might have caught a little something that made a particular unit for custodies better, but I don't know if I'm thinking the same one he is, right? But I will use the quote that he told me, right? It's all about that frame life, baby. Frame
Love
keyword. I'm hyped for it. Anyways, I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for having me. See ya.
Love you, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, as always, to Jake, man. Wonderful guy. And yes, going back to Regal's point that he had to interrupt for in the middle of, I definitely do not do all the work. Kudos to all of the guys that jump on the show, right? Regal puts in tons of effort. This is a team collaboration. We love everything that we all do, but definitely not on me. The only thing that I do by myself is brush my teeth.
Look, I can't even take all the credit. My fiance told me I'm not doing nearly enough for this man to step it up and help him or get out of the way. So I'm motivated by the woman behind me now. I'm man enough to admit it.
Love it. And then we all have a goal, right? We're all doing this for the greater good of something bigger than us, right? And I say that, JP, for you, the greater good, if you're still watching and still paying attention. But yeah, we do it for the community. We do it for the love of you guys all. So,
and shout out to all the community people who come on and help us. Recon by Fire, Plasma Minis, Anime Squirrel, and so many more. So it's awesome. It is, like you said, not a one man, not even a 2-man show. So but for why you're here now, the slideshow that has been delayed by half an hour now, we're doing great.
You're fine. We're gonna knock this out right now. So pairings, right? Tournament organizers take care of that. So you don't actually have to worry about that. We'll do that by BCP. So you'll use an app to actually do your pairing. No worries on that. The metrics are all the same for player and placing metrics. They're the same way that they were in 10th edition. GW said that they did not need to change it. It's very fluid and works very well. So we're going to continue to use that. Rankings as well. If you want to talk about ELO rankings, we have a show on that Reigel and I and somebody else did. I forgot. I'm sorry.
The war drill gentleman.
Who?
I forgot his war drill. His ward. I know because he does the war drill. I forgot his name though. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Chris.
Yes, go back 2 episodes, I believe it is. We cover ELO, we cover pairings and rankings and how that all works out. So if you missed it and you're looking at going at events, not 2 weeks ago, but a month ago, that show has all the information you're going to need on how the front end and back end of the pairing systems work and rankings at the end of an event and after each round work.
And last one, we did the whole pairings and metrics, didn't we? Or was that we did pairings and metrics for GW as well?
Yes.
I
was starting them at the beginning for the ELO stuff, and then they can go through. They're going to watch more content this way.
So check out all the wonderful videos that we put together. We're going to have a lot more. There's going to be some World Leader content that's going to be coming out very, very soon too. So get ready for that. Blood for the blood guy, baby. So layouts, I will be dictating BCACB for the GT Major Warfare Road to Nova GT that's coming up this Saturday and Sunday. For those of you who are coming out on Sunday or dropping on Sunday, I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day if you're a parent. But that will be a wonderful weekend. That's how I'm going to enjoy my Father's Day, because I'm around my children all year round, and one day away is not a wrong thing. So,
and as was mentioned earlier, Garrett asked a question. The layouts for this GT and future RTTs and GTs for Onslaught events, I can't speak for anyone else. And I can speak for this because the man himself said it. Read your player packets. Whether it's going to be random or chosen by the TO ahead of time, will be in those player packets when they're released, whether in the Onslaught card website or the BCP link.
Yep. Thank
so
you.
don't just because this one is pre-picked, don't expect, say, Crucible is also going to be pre-picked. It could be randomly assigned with a die roll at the table. We don't know yet. By we, I mean Lewis specifically.
Also, there's been some discrepancies on the time. I've adjusted all the times between BCP, the actual website, my website where you go to purchase the ticket, and on the player packet. It's 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. We're starting. Your lists have to be submitted at 10 a.m. So we start at 10:30 a.m. Lists need to be submitted by 10 a.m. I'm giving you a lot of opportunities here to kind of like practice your games out. We all know that the points are coming out tomorrow and the app is getting updated. I didn't want to force you guys and girls to have to, submit your list immediately. Try it out, get some practice in on Friday night, right before you're off, and try to submit it then as quick as possible. But that'll give you some opportunities. I don't want to hold you back. I want to make sure that you have everything that you need at the appropriate time. But going in the future, obviously, it's usually going to be about 2 days prior. All right, so we got pregame flow. You got this, my brother?
Yep, I got this one. So these are what you handle before round one. First, you muster your armies, which is, that hopefully you have. If you came to the event, you have it with you. You pull it out of its case, take it off its tray. Your list submission, which you talked about, should already be done. If you're going up to a table and your list isn't submitted yet, May Lewis have mercy on your soul. Determine mission. This is where you say, okay, I'm taking hold, you're taking hold. This is the mission we're playing. Determine layout. Again, there's only 3 layouts. I'll have to wait till later. But yes, Lewis, explain yourself.
No, I was just gonna say they're trolling. My bad. They're trolling me.
No. It says it on the 27th event. Tau is listed as your army. If you go to BCP.
I know, because the TO he's trolling me. He does that.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Plasma was trolling. You got it.
No. The TO is, because he puts Thousand Suns. He knows I hate Thousand Suns. He'll put Thousand Suns.
I'm gonna high five him. That's hilarious. So determine layout. Assuming it's random, just to go through it. Each primary mission combination, of which there are 15, because there are 5 dispositions. Each have 3 layouts, and you have 5 enemy dispositions: the mirror match and the 4 others. So 5 times 3 is 15. So again, in the example where you're taking hold, your opponent's taking hold, you could have A, B, and C, and either the TOs tells you, okay, round 1, everyone's on their C layout. Or the TO says, okay, it's randomly determined, however that may be, whether it's a die roll, whether it's whoever has, closest to 2,000 points, or whatever that we don't know yet. So, but it could be random, it could be pre-decided. That is step 3, is you figuring out your layout. Using this GT as an example, you skip this step, it's done. Thank you, Lewis. You made it easier for us. You create the battlefield. This is where if it's not ready, you start moving terrain around. You start making the battlefield. And this is not player placed, even though the players are placing it. It is a pre-designed setup, very akin to 10th edition layouts. And then is the attacker defender roll off. Again, this is going to look familiar. So, you and your opponent roll a die, and the winner decides, they get to pick, it is not automatic, who's attacker and who's defender. And again, it's not going to always matter. I know a lot of people, me included, Lewis at events has done it before. This is not a bad thing. A lot of these steps get conflated or combined for sake of time, and just because you get in your flow. But sometimes it might matter. Like, notice here, you pick attacker or defender before you pick tactical or fixed. So maybe you normally would go fixed, but you see they have like 3 scouts and 4, infiltrators. Don't know who would do that, what kind of madman, but they could. Taking, 3 units of Pathfinders and Montcalm where you can scout 3 things. Who knows?
Yep.
But you choose tactical or fixed after you know who's attacker or defender. Again, not super relevant, but you can defer until turn 6 or step 6. Step 7 is declare your battle formations. I cannot English. You know what? Go easy on your app. I can't do it either. And this is where you declare things that are inside any transports you have and your strategic reserves. You notice that it no longer declare leaders, because that is back in the muster army section or in the list building. Yep. When you make your list in 11th edition, your leaders and support characters will automatically be added to a unit and count towards their starting strength. So, for an example, 6 Blade Guard veterans with a captain and a apothecary is not a 6-man unit and a 1-man unit and a 1-man unit. It is just an 8-man unit, full stop. So that is going to be a mindset change to get used to for things like half strength and below starting strength. But after you declare what's in your tanks and what's in reserves, you deploy your armies, which is where the attacker-defender role really kicks into effect. You go back and forth. The only thing to remind people is the Titanic keyword still counts as 2 drops. Right. So just be aware, if you're playing Knights or bringing a Titanic model, you drop that model, your opponent has to do 2 or 1 of their own Titanics. And yes, and 3 ghost kills, JP. I'm actually super excited to see what Tau can do. I think Tau become a lot more interesting if you hop off the Montcalm train. Just to quit. If you're on Montcalm, it is no more interesting than it was before. But personally, I think Cayune and the forward deploying one, super exciting. But back on topic. You deploy your armies, you resolve redeploys. Again, this is very clearly, and as Lewis said earlier, very simple, very clear, before the first turn. So all redeploys, they're all worded this way, but it's kind of some future proofing if GW forgets. Your redeploys happen before you know who's going first, for everyone, all the time.
Yep.
You determine first turn. So then again, this is where you roll off, and this is not a choice. So if you roll your die, you get a 3, your opponent gets a 4. they have to go first, unlike attacker defender where there's a choice. Resolve pre-battle rules. This is things like scout. Now, a quick question for you, Mr. T.O., because I don't know this because I've never had to do it with any of my armies. If you have a unit that can combat squad, do you combat squad into the declare battle formation step so you can deploy them as separate units? Like if you have your commandos. Sorry? No, if you have your commandos, when do you decide that your 10-man commandos is a 10-man or 2 5-mans? What would that be on step 7?
Yes, that was the one where you start dictating what's going in vehicles and everything like that. Yes.
So that would also be combat squadding a unit if it can. Okay. Yep. Combat squad, for those who don't know, is where you have a starting unit that can then split into multiple, usually 2, before the battle starts. So you resolve pre-battle rules. This is mainly scout, which again has changed. You can now, GW got it wrong on the Votan article. You do not scout into reserves. You could take a unit in reserves and scout them into your deployment zone, which you are giving up some midfield, but you now have full knowledge of where every single one of their units are. Yep. So if you wanted to be a bit cheeky and safer with your scout unit, you could put them in reserves, look at how everything's done, and be like, you know what, actually, those guys over here, just because you don't have line of sight to see them, they're safe. Then you begin the battle. Person going first, this is where start of the battle things happen. Off the top of my head, like the combat lieutenant picking an objective for reroll 1s to wound would be on step 12. I'm trying to remember any other start of the battle things. Oh, a lot of prey-like abilities, like the Norns, where they pick one enemy unit to reroll hits and wounds, would happen here on step. And then about the top of round 1 would start, and then you would go and this is where you would go your command phase, movement, shooting, charge, fighting, end step. End step is now a codified step in the rules. Yes. It's no longer just ambiguous at the end of when you're done fighting. So again, if you haven't gone through the core rule manual to see like the phases and how they break down, do that, because if something is timed in the end step, it is now the end step, not the end of the fight phase.
Yep.
So, for example, if Gilliman dies in the fight phase and you go to your end step without rolling your dice, you did technically miss the timing. Now let your opponent know and, talk about it as gentlemen or gentle ladies, but that timing is now very clear for end of phase purposes. But you begin the battle, and step 13 is end the battle after 5 rounds. I love your optimism that you think most people are going to get the 5 rounds. That is adorable. But ideally after 5 rounds, and then you determine the victor. Whoever has the most points wins. Or if there's a draw, because hot take, I think draws are going to be a lot more common. As we talked about, getting primary has gotten, I don't want to say easier, but quicker. Like your numbers escalate faster.
Yep. Recon by Fire mentioned that earlier. He was like, getting to 15 points is nothing nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the secondary is correct. Getting 15 in a turn, you can just do 3. Even getting like 4, 6, 10, 15, you're still there.
Yep.
Bully Boys is terrifying, Plasma. I am actually afraid of Bully Boys with just like Gaz, 15 guys, some knobs, and like a big brick of hogs. Terrified. Anyways, and then let me move that out of the way. Big player habit change. I have not read this yet. This is new to me too. Do not arrive at the table cold. Think through your fortress position choice before the game starts.
Yes. Big brain play.
We cannot. We have already preached on many episodes, both live and others that we've posted. If you show up to a table and you make your plan as you arrive, you are setting yourself up for failure. You might be there just for fun, and you might just want to be living in the moment, YOLOing a list. That is great, and no shame to you. I've done it with a Harridan at Crucible. I'm right there with you, by all means. But if you're going competitively to really push yourself and your list, really think through what your game plan is going to be. There is a simplified metric. Instead of having, A through Q missions to worry about now, you just have 5. You have yours, and then the 5 of how yours interact, which I guess technically it's 10. Your 5 primaries, and then your opponent's 5 they're trying to do against you. But yes, really think through that. And think through the thing. I personally think that the Calidus Assassin is going to be taken out of a lot of lists as a support unit. I think the Navigator is going to be brought in. It's 75 points for a 12-inch no-go zone and a hilarious point-and-click infantry battle shock test that does mortal wounds. So for 150 points, grabbing 2 of them and blocking out your entire backfield from a deep strike, pretty good value depending on your list composition. But moving on to the next slide, we have secondary missions. Wow, if I'd have just looked ahead. Guys, I'm a professional, I promise. So this is where the biggest practical player change shows up. This is assuming you got your fortress position down, you're going to get your 40 to 45 on that. You shuffle. So for tactical missions, you shuffle your deck face down. There is the courtesy, ask your opponent if they want to cut. It is not codified in the rules. It is just a gentlemanly gesture. At the start of your command phase, you draw 2 cards face up.
Right,
now, this notably, as we've kind of alluded to and talked directly about, you just draw 2 cards, period. It doesn't matter if you already have 2, you have 4, you have 6. Every turn of your command phase, you draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Once per battle, the end of your command phase, so you can kind of do this is after you do all your battle shocks, you use your abilities and your command abilities, you can see what your turn might start to look like. You could choose to discard 1 for a CP and draw a new one. Now this is again very risky, but you may be incentivized to do it in certain situations.
Yep.
And at the end of each player's turn, you score any achieved cards, and on your turn, you can discard any active tactical card for a CP. Now, specifically on your turn. So you can still discard the end of your opponent's turn, but you will not get a CP for it. So I don't know why you would, but you could. And as we mentioned, you can always
I'll tell you why. I'll interject real quick from stopping your opponent from getting those scores or points or whatever.
By discarding one of your secondary cards?
Yeah, because you could have something maybe. I think there was one that was like a booby trap or something like that. And if you have it, they have that now, where you can discard yours and prevent people from actually doing it.
Oh, well, interesting. That is another layer of tactical play. But as we mentioned, you can only score 15 points. So if you do have, say, 20 points of cards you just scored, I'm waiting for an FAQ. It's not super clear to me. Maybe Lewis can correct me live. I would not be opposed to it. But if you score 20 points of cards, you score the achieved card, which means those, let's say 4 cards get discarded because you scored them. 5 of those points are wasted per the rules because you can't actually get more than 15. Now, whether they FAQ scoring to mean actually putting points on your board or just meeting the qualifications of the card, it's clear to me.
We lost you there for a second, brother.
Oh, I was just saying how, if you got, say, plunder, engage in all fronts, assassination, and bring it down, you got your 20 points. Well, you discard, by the way I understand the rules, all 4 of those cards, but your scoreboard only goes up by 15. So, maybe you should have saved that assassinate or that plunder action for the next turn.
Yeah, it's actually you're right. It's a hand of, it's a game of your hands, right? So you only want to get up to what you are allotted to. Now, there's going to be some situations where it's odd numbers and you'll get 16 points and you only end up getting 15. But yeah, you're just going to have to figure out exactly what you want to do and not waste those particular cards, right?
Which again,
but you get to choose too, right? You get to choose if you want to apply that. So.
Yeah, and again, that is again another layer to the tactical playing of the game where don't get so lost in the sauce or so heated in the action that you actually kneecap yourself by overachieving, which is a hilarious thing to think about. You've won too much, so you don't get points. I'm a fan of this. I kind of like it. It really forces you to stay focused, even if you can find an advantage. If you push too much of an advantage, it might actually detract from the point you're scoring. So just be aware. Then we have fixed missions. You choose 2. As we said, it is the 3 kill ones. Kill a character, kill a big thing, kill an oversized unit of 13 or more. And 13 or more starting strength is models. It is not wounds. Correct. So dropping an Armiger or a Defiler will not get it. That is a bring it down. That is grievous wound is 20 neophytes or, Cadian squad with a Cadian command squad. Something like that.
Yep. Darth Charles, yes, I will have you. I will give you all kinds of tools tomorrow. I'm going to send you all kinds of things so that you'll be able to have it. So I'm going to set you up all for success. Everything, you'll have all the missions. You can actually pick the missions, things like that. There's a lot of information that I'm going to send you tomorrow. So you'll be set up for success 100%. You should, though, if for clarity, and I'm not going to be like on top of people on Saturday because it's the first day, but you should have in the future all the required, books, digital copies, dice, whatever you might need for that event. That way, if you ask a rules question, from an official documentation that's GW, then I have the ability to read it with you, right? Sometimes I might not have that actual rule pulled up already. You might actually be looking through it, so having it is very pertinent. So, but yeah, well, you'll definitely have a bunch of tools. My bad, Reigel.
As we've noted here, your fix stay for the entire battle. You cannot discard them, so you can't get CP. Yep. And each fix is worth 20 on its own. So we have 45 for your primary you're doing, 20 for assassinate, 20 for bring it down because you're playing knights and you're a clever little fox, and 10 for battle ready because you're painted. Yeah. That is a 95 total. So you are automatically going down by 5, but if you're confident in your ability to take down that army and then hit it, instead of having to worry about maybe cleansing here or plundering there, maybe they make some more 4-ups or 5-ups than you want, and they're still alive turn 5, and you didn't get to do that action. Who knows? It is a consideration to make. And then you get 45 again on your primary and up to 15 for tactical. For this, what I've noticed, something I did notice in my game where I took fixed, I can get more than 15. You can get all, for example, for assassinate, you can get all 20 if you do take fixed. Fixed is not capped per turn. It is capped by 5 on total. So that is also good if you're an army that burns out fast, like you're going to get tabled. You could theoretically score 85 to your full 95, turns 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4, get tabled and still beat your opponent because you did your damage, delayed them for a turn or two. So that might be the other reason to take fix is you'll die, but you can just rack up those points super fast.
Really fast.
So that is, and again, I'm learning as I'm going through this. We're all new to this edition. There's going to be more, as we said, videos, the more live stuff. So just bear with us, and again, bear with yourself and your own experiences. Why this matters, choosing fixed means consistency, and especially for your premeditated game plan, but it lowers your maximum total compared with tactical play. And if you want to look at it, not only are you giving up 5 VP, but you're also giving up a CP, because if you're looking at it, it's like you're just discarding a card preemptively. That means you're not getting that 11th CP you otherwise would have, just going tactical and doing it anyway. So, but again, you could burn twice as bright and burn out twice as fast to get your score and then die. So it's a cool little balance there, which, look, as a Tyranid Vanguard player, love that.
I love that I didn't even think of that. I didn't think of it using it as an army that burns out very fast. As a World Leaders player, like, we don't have high survivability. Like, fix might be up my avenue some games. So that's good call out, man. You want me to go ahead and take care of this one, brother?
Absolutely. You go ahead and get this one. Talk to the people. They love your voice.
All right. Moving on to clarifications that matter at the table, right? So when they're saying that everything is adding up, it's cumulative, right? You can gather it all together, add it together. Things like cover and stealth does not, right? Stack. So that's in a situation that does not. They also clarified the or condition. If a card offers or conditions, you only gain VP for one of those conditions or the normal condition. So this is a new one to me, and I really like that they're clarifying the or conditions, and they actually specify or conditions. Also, what was neat to me, Reigel, if you notice in the taking saves, yes, or doing damage section, you have to actually create groups that's in your unit now. So you have to create groups of bodyguards, create groups of characters, create groups of non-characters, or whatever special things you might have. And if they're not the same, they go in their own little group.
And
so
I believe
like a Crypto Thrall and a Necron Warrior.
Well, I think it's even more granular because I think there's three conditions you have to meet to be in the same group, and that is you have to have the same toughness, the same save, and I believe the same wounds characteristic.
Yes, it was 3 things.
So that also means things like knobs in a boy unit. If you have 10 boys in a knob, that knob is his own.
It's its own unit. It's a separate unit. So yeah.
Or like, you know, the basically the sergeants of squads, they have an extra wound or a better save for whatever reason, they would be moved to their own even if they're not a character. So that, again, that is yes, you do have groups, and it is, for the better, in my opinion, very granular about how you divide them up.
But I also think that people are going to mess this up pretty often with that in combination of making saves now and how making saves now has changed. You just roll the dice and you go from failures up, selecting a group, right? So you got to select your group, take the failures. If it kills the unit, that group disappears. And then you put it on to another group for the other failures, right? And you keep on moving on until the entire unit is done. So I really like how they broke that down. Also, underlining the word one, where usually the GW English is very ambiguous, where they say a unit of one or or an. They don't use that very phonetically, right? They don't write these proper sentences, for better words, for lack thereof better words. But having that defined now, where one is one, especially when it's underlined, that's very important. Leaves the battlefield too.
Well, one other thing, real quick. It's just to touch on the save thing. Something a lot of people did, which is going to be a very hard habit to break because it was very tactically sound. Is if you put a bunch of 1 damage stuff like berserkers, 1 damage each. If you swing into something, they'll go, "Oh, I took 7 wounds. Okay, 3. Oh wow, 6 of my 1 wound guys die. I'll put the last one on my 2 wound thing." That is no longer an option. You have to keep going. You have to really think about either that 2 wound model is going to eat the first 2 damage, or you lose more models holistically over the course of saves. So just be aware, once those groups are made, you cannot in the middle reassign damage for the benefit of keeping an extra model alive.
And also, now we don't have this endless warp of nothingness when it comes to an embarking on vehicles. They specify now that you leave the battlefield. So if you're embarked on a transport, you are gone from the battlefield. Order is removed from the battlefield, such as being placed in strategic reserves. It is destroyed, embarks on a transport. They specify now that those are off the battlefield. So it's really nice. It's really nice, those clarifications.
So real quick, with how precision works in the new fast rolling saves, the attacking player chooses groups. They don't choose every group. It was a bit misled on the preview. You just move characters of your choice to the front of the damage line in the order you want. So in like the game I had, there was Gazgul, Makari, and a weird boy in a unit. And I just chose to put the weird boy in front. I said, okay, I just need to kill this character. I don't want to deal with, if you only roll like 3 1s and Makari eat the rest of them, I don't want to deal with that. So you choose the order, and if it's commonly it's going to be one character. It's going to be, Sanguinary Guard and a Jump Captain, or 10 Berserkers and Karn the Betrayer, or something like that. So you just say, okay, this character takes all the saves first, which means if you're a 6 wound character and you roll 6 1s, 2s, or 3s, whatever the metric you need to meet to fail is.
Makari 2+.
Yeah, and if you move Makari to the front, you're either real confident in the volume or a madman, and I respect it either way. Look, and it gets real weird with dev wounds. I'm just so answer this: how fast rolling works. You say, okay, that character has to take the saves first. So you have 10 saves. You roll your dice. You roll 3 1s, 3 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, whatever. Well, they take the first 6 damage or 10 damage, whatever, and then you just keep going through the line. And now after the assigned character or characters, if it's plural, they put 2 of them up front. Like if there's a sergeant without an invuln and then a captain with an invuln, they might go, okay, captain first because he has an invuln, then the sergeant because he might be saving on a 5-up or whatever, and then your jump marines or whatever you have. So yeah, you basically just shift the order of characters, but you cannot say, okay, you know what? Actually, I want that sergeant to take saves next. Once you've picked out characters, you're done. Your opponent then gets to move whatever's left. So like Necrons, they would pick the Techno Thralls or the little Techno Sight spider things. You just get to choose the characters.
Yep, and you basically work backwards like you work with army list building now, right? You pick the disposition and kind of then go build your list based on that. Now it's really the same way. You just break it down. Or note, many rules which used to work in the transports now.
This is going back to your leaves the battlefield thing you were making, so I wanted to bring it up here to get us,
Yeah, if they're explicitly calling it out, absolutely. But now that they're finding, instead of being in a warp, now you can either do abilities if it's called out in the transport, things like that, or off the battlefield, which they allowed before. If you know Grey Knights, we had a Grey Knight specialist here today, right? Grey Knights were able to heal their Terminators in strategic reserves. And that was a real thing.
And Necrons too, yeah. Necrons can reanimate in reserves.
Yeah. So
and DSD, so.
That was already a thing in last edition. They just clarified it now. Thank you, JP. Yeah. They're just being ultra transparent, which I really love. And VP up to a limit now. So if a rule says up to a limit, any VP above that limit is ignored. And we were just talking about this earlier, right? Anything above that, just be, intelligent in how you're doing your things, right? If you're going to go for engaging all fronts and behind enemy lines, and you're using the Colexis to do that, but you have a third one too, and you use that one, it's over in points, you probably didn't want to do all three of your secondaries, maybe two instead.
And another good example is if you draw no prisoners, but you're also playing Purge the Foe where you need kills. If you table your opponent, say like turn 2, like if you're JP into Lewis, in 11th edition, you might actually score a lower score for killing your opponent sooner.
Yep.
Because now you're not getting those kill points further on in the game. So, like if you draw, bring it down, that no longer just gives it to you if they're all dead. You just discard it and draw another card for free. Like then to the next point, when drawn, if all the monsters and vehicles are dead when drawn, you just discard it. You don't automatically score it. Yep. Same with no prisoners. So like between those two cards, you just lost like 9 points of your score because you overkilled your opponent. It's situational, but you could, again, steak too juicy, lobster too buttery, kneecap yourself, which again, hilarious game design. I'm on board, GW. That's super funny.
It is, and I love that they're clarifying when drawn. So we know exactly that it's only for tactical. It's never going to be for fixed. And why should you care, right? These clarifications close common arguments and make card wording much more precise than it was before. I agree with the reference sections, with the keywords, more like they've been talking about this pre-designed for a long time already, and I'm glad, especially for a person in my position, right? Because I always want to give you all the proper instructions and resources and tools that you need to succeed. This makes it a lot easier for us. A lot easier to organize.
A specific note on the when drawn thing, a very specific one is the plunder and the cleanse secondary cards. Both of them say if you have the other one active when you draw it, you can recycle it, not discard it, put it back in the deck and draw a new one.
Do it again.
Now, notably, you can screw yourself here because if you decide, I'll draw both of them, I can do them in a later turn, and oops, the game has evolved to a state where maybe you don't want to do 3 actions anymore.
Yep.
You cannot then decide, well, I'll just recycle it because it's already been drawn and set in your hand. So again, it's small decision point, but it could come back later to cheat you out of 5 or 3 points, or 8 if it's both. So just be aware.
I got this one, brother, if you want me to. I got this. So
you're on a roll.
Pairings, rankings, and event flow. A lot stays familiar here, but the documents makes the most order explicit, right? So they go order in an explicit order. So this hasn't changed. For my portion and what I have to divvy out for you and giving you exact GW standards when it comes to the pairing and placing metrics, right? This doesn't change, right? They're just wording it to you in GW terms. But when it transfers over to best post pairings, and how they have it worded there as of current, this is exactly how it plays out. So we have a whole show where we broke that down. Please make sure to go check out that show with me and Reigel. Broke that down for about an hour and a half. I'm not going to deep dive into that today. Just kind of wanted to let you know that's basically going to be the same for Major Warfare on Saturday. All right.
And I would highly recommend, if you're still confused about how it works, or maybe like if you're a 2-1 player, why are you playing the 1-2 player? Or, if you lost, why are you playing someone who's undefeated? Go back and watch that, because it is very in-depth, and you will come out with a much deeper understanding and a potential ability to like lower your potential opponent pool, from 8 to maybe 3, and then from like 4 maybe to like 1 or 2. So it can also kind of help you actively reduce the amount of like guesswork you have to do for your next opponent.
Yep. And this packet will come out tomorrow too, to all of the participants that are coming out. So they're going to be sent out with this packet. So you'll have this packet, you'll have an app that allows you to kind of check things, your missions. Instead of having to go to the card, it's going to be a challenge with 75 different cards trying to figure it out, unless you pick it out prior to your events. And wink, wink, you should do that, right? Especially if you know the missions that you're going to play, but not the layouts. Come out, prepare all of those cards. So that way, when you get there, and if the cards are the only thing you have, you already have it on deck. Also, tabletop battles. Tabletop battles should also be updated as well. A lot of us use that very frequently for our scoring. GW has already publicly mentioned that Saturday morning you're going to be able to have a player app as well. So I'm very excited to see that on Saturday. Hopefully we see it tomorrow, so we can actually play around with it and just check it out before we have to do it in a rush on Saturday morning. So all that information is coming out tomorrow. That would be absolutely wild. And
if you're ever wondering when rules are going to drop, just check to see if there's an Onslaught event that weekend. If there is, the rules are going to drop.
Yep.
Sorry, I just want to say one last thing about the Tabletop Battles app.
Yeah.
Everything is updated except layouts. The layouts have not been implemented yet for your primary, for the studio. So you can pick your dispositions, you can pick your detachments, if you have 2 or even 3 or just the 1. You just cannot set up what layout you're on. Those will probably be out by either tomorrow or end of the week. I haven't seen anything on it, but so you can do everything but set up the table you're playing on based on the GW, tournament packets.
Yep. So I'm hoping that it gets updated tomorrow too. Yeah, thank you, brother. So, and then for my portion, right, the Judge TO takeaway. If there's any ambiguity, I'm here to help you out, right? I'm here to help you. We have resources that can assist us as well. We'll figure it out together. I want to this is a promise and not anything else. People are already getting super excited about having a GT on day one. Make sure that excitement is directed in the way of having fun and playing with people, as opposed to being opposing people and getting upset because you don't understand how the game works and how it functions. It is Father's Day weekend. We all want to have a great weekend. This is not the weekend for you to take that opportunity to get upset because you don't understand the rules yet. I would probably take it in stride and not even go to the GT. And I don't like to promote people not going to my GTs or to my events, because I want you to all go. But if you're not going to understand the rules, if you're not going to come there just to hang out and have a good time, have a fun time, it's probably not going to be beneficial for you. So come out, have a great time.
And again, this is a game, this is a hobby, this is a free time thing. And more than it again, especially here at Onslaught, with all the work that Lewis has done before, even I've joined and the other people have come on and graced us with their help. This is a community-based thing. He does run competitive events, but it's also a community thing for people to come have a good time themselves. And so just be aware you're there to have a good time. The other 29-ish people around you are there to have a good time. It's super embarrassing to be the one person that ruins it for everyone else. So, don't do that. Come out, have a good time, have some laughs, roll your double ones, burn your dice out back with the rest of us. It'll be great.
Yep.
There's no actual dice burning. Please don't litter. That was facetious. I'll handle this one. And then the last two will give you a voice arrest. So this is terrain layouts and how the board is defined. And again, there is actually a lot more definition to board zones and terrain. So, layouts are standardized and easier for TOs to communicate. We've, again, gone over the whole random versus preset. The GT this weekend will be preset. Each primary mission, your dispositions combinations, has 3. They're all labeled A, B, and C. So you can just go, yep, I'm, taking hold, and look at your taking hold versus taking hold mirror, A, B, and C. That's it. So you got to worry about between you and your opponent, unless it's already set. The TO specifies whether it's specifies layout or tells the players to randomize. Hey, we've said that like 6 times. Great. The battlefield size.
What do you think people want? What do you people want? Do you want it randomized or do you want it locked in? I know we talked about it.
My gut feeling is people are going to say they want locked in because they don't want to be responsible for setting up a board before they have to play a match. I feel like, though, after they play a couple games, they're going to want it random because they're going to very quickly find out that, this one is really bad, one is really good, and one, or if how you built the list, 2 might be really good and 1 might be severely bad. So, like, we'll just randomize it. I got a 66% chance to get the better one for me anyway.
Yeah.
I'll take 10 minutes to set up a table.
This GT is not locked in for this one. I misspoke if I said that. This GT is not. This one is going to be randomized.
I just said that, and we have locked in. I'm
oh my god! People want locked in.
Calling our own fans, which again, no shade. I personally, as I'm learning it, do want it locked in too. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
But I think long term, and maybe because I play a more dynamic, and I'm heavily looking at reconnaissance and disruption specifically myself, so I might have a distorted view. Yeah. I kind of think I want by the time of Crucible, I'll want randomized. I also understand that is going to be a mess for like 300 players to 150 tables to constantly be doing it every round. So there is what we want, and then what is doable. It makes a smoother experience. So but I'm not a TO. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem.
Yeah. It's most likely 90. I'll put out the email tomorrow, but it's going to be randomized. This is an opportunity for a new game system, and everyone needs to learn the multiple ways to play this out. If we keep on locking in layouts, then you're only playing in a particular way, right? So I think there's an opportunity for more scale in competitive play by not doing locked in. So we'll see. It's listen, there's no standard as of yet. Nobody knows. Nobody's ran an event. And guess who gets to run an event day one? A GT at that. So
fun experience. Just 60, get 120 players, 60 tables, 20A, 20B, 20C, boom, just set them on them. Don't worry about random variants where like 19 people and 22 people. It's fine. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the game uses a 44x60, so the battlefield size has not changed. I believe it was from 8th to 9th. The battlefield went from 72 to 60 inches.
Yeah.
But it is the same that it's been for the past 2 editions, so you don't got to worry about that. Terrain features are identified as dense or light in the layouts. This is important. I want to verbally highlight the dense and light is going to matter.
It is.
Do not yourself be the person who either does or gets caught off guard because your opponent moved their thing through a wall they either shouldn't have, or you didn't move your thing through a wall that you totally could have. Dense and light matter way more for mobility than for like any amount of cover. So just really look at I would suggest just screenshotting and having your layout at easy access. So say, okay, I'm playing layout C, reconnaissance into priority assets. Layout C, and just, okay, so there's not like an overwhelming amount of dense. You just go, okay, so like these 2 or 3 walls, I cannot move my Land Raider through. I have to go around. And then you'll be good. So and then also but it's same for your opponent. Just be like, all right, cool. Hey, that Vindicator that, we heard about earlier, it has to go the long way, which is now only like an extra 2 inches because pivoting's free. So who cares?
Yep.
These are the footprint sizes at Onslaught events. These are what will be used. So if you have these at home or print these up yourself or buy a set, whatever you practice on is what will be done with at the Onslaught events. I know that because I talked to the guy who just bought like 60-something sets, and I got to hear about him painting them. So yeah. But again, this is for good, consistent play, and GW has even said that they are encouraging TOs of all circuits. So that is, ITC, UKTC, WTC, to use this. So even if you have another style of event or a content creator, Recon by Fire, go check him out. Your terrain sizes are ubiquitous and the layouts are the same for everyone. So you're not going to learn 2 or 3 different layouts to play or make content or practice. So that's all super great.
Yep.
And then finally you have the layout key. Your red and blue designated attacker defender, as well as your battlefield edge. White equals the no man's land or central objectives. It's a bit weird. GW kind of goes back and forth on what's a central objective and what's a expansion objective on some of the primaries, but just know central objective means not in your deployment zone primarily, and then secondarily, usually the closest 1 or 2 near the center of the battlefield. The objective icons, there are 2. There is the diamond skull, which hilariously is in the defender zone, and there is the circle. The diamond ones are usually the expansion objectives, and the circle skull on your layouts is normally the center objectives that are referred to in your primaries. And then, of course, the castle is your home expansion objective. Oh, I see what you did here. You just put all 3 of them across each other. Zones be damned. I like that. Good for you. The takeaways, layouts are now clearly defined, and they are very clearly defined. To spend 5-10 minutes looking through them, you will not regret it, I promise. They are standardized and much easier to brief before the round starts. So even if it's random, while you're setting it up, it's very easy to see, oh, this is a dense piece of terrain. I can stage, and then I have to I can't go through it. I got to go around it or go through a wall over here if I have the mobile keyword or whatever. And you'll know, okay, these are the objectives I got to hold or do actions on, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, layouts. And I will say for the first time in any edition I've played, which is 8th, 9th, 10th, and now 11th, the terrain does actually feel kind of like a third player with all of the interaction with hidden, with cover just being towing in, with everything having effective towering, not actually towering. Towering gives you another buff now. But by just towing in, your retributors or pathfinders can shoot through and guide. You don't got to get wholly on it. So there were many times in many games where something wanted to be wholly within a terrain piece to get the benefit of cover, but just that last 1/8 of an inch of the base couldn't quite clear it, and so there was a potential to shoot it. No more. Now tanks especially wanted to get in, but they were so big or wide, or the pivot tacks couldn't get in to see through and shoot. Nah. You put your one defiler claw or your forge fiend claw. That's for you, Lewis. Just oops, I touched this corner. Blam. Now it is true. Which, as you said, those walls will matter. If you throw in a Hellbrute that's on a wall that's 3-4 inches high, sure you're towing it, but unless you can see over that wall, you're shooting nothing. So be aware. It unlocks true line of sight, not X-ray vision just to see through the terrain. This is a point you made about an hour and a half ago. The physical terrain matter. Again, it's very much the third player in your games, which is super cool. And you might think, oh, that sounds like a hindrance. Well, remember, it's hindering your opponent from seeing you in the very same way.
Correct.
So just keep this in mind. And this is a lot. We've been here for 2 hours. Thank you all who have stayed with us, and thank you to Garrett who joined us. Thank you to Jake for his insights. I've typed in the chat, but if you're here, please press the hype button. I don't know what it does. I just press it and see confetti pop up on other channels. So I don't know. Maybe it probably helps the algorithm. And again, do not take our word or anyone else's word as gospel. Read the rules for yourself. Practice your own games. Practice deploying. Whether it's TTS or even doing if you don't have a big enough table, just set up your half of half a table and practice your turn 1 movement that you can. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is there are now territories. it's not really a terrain thing. This is kind of a battlefield. Your territory, your half of the battlefield, and that does not mean it is the 30-inch line or the 22-inch line if you're playing, hamburger or hot dog style, whatever. Just know that it changes, like specifically on the stepped edges of the Dawn of War deployment. It's like 3 inches off center a diagonal line, so it's kind of wonky, but you have to know where it's at because some primaries and a lot of secondaries interact with your territory or score more if you're wholly within your opponent's territory. So really, like this says, before the battle starts, get an idea where those are.
Yep. I love everything that you've done. We've been here for 2 hours. So with that being said, thank you very much, Reigel. Thank you to the folks that have been listening.
Now, 2 more hours of the subathon. Let's go. It's like we're in the 80s again with those telethons on the TV.
As long as I can take a 5-minute break to eat dinner.
I'm having eaten either with you. I'm right there.
So with that being said, we love you so much, and we thank you so much for all the support as always. Make sure to watch out. The Faction Specialists come out every Saturday, just about every Saturday morning, with Reigel hosting the show. He does fantastic work with all of the guys and girls. We've had one with Reigel, the Blood Angels. We've had great nights on there with David, Garrett. We've had quite a few. So go check them out, and we're going to have some more in the future. We're going to have some Tau. We're going to have some World Eaters. We're going to have so many more special guests.
We have a very special one coming up this Saturday. I'm not going to spoil it, but keep an eye out for it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I'm super excited for this guest and for all of their experience. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and we love you. You want to give out an outro real quick, brother? You want to do the full outro with the whole Onslaught?
You know what? I'll do it for the first time. Yeah, I'm big scared. We'll try it.
You big dog.
Big dog wolf. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for sticking with us. And yeah, Onslaught Gaming, where victory just a strategy away.
Thank you, everyone. Love y'all. Y'all be fantastic.
Thank you, everyone.
See you on Saturday. Have a wonderful week.
What a final word, Recon.
Imperial Agents.